Ja, willkommen zurück bei KSP2, beim letzten Tutorial, was im Trainingszentrum aktuell angeboten wird, und das heißt Orbitaltransfer. Und das schauen wir jetzt an. Du weißt jetzt, wie man eine Umlaufbahn in Kerbals erreicht. Nun wartet das ganze Universum auf dich. Mal gucken.
Orbital transfers. As you know, the faster you go, the higher your orbit gets. If you get moving fast enough, your orbit may cross the orbit of some other object, like a moon or a planet. The closest celestial body to Kerbin is the Mun. If you're looking for somewhere else to fly a rocket, the Mun is a good choice. The real trick to getting there is timing your departure so that the Mun captures your vehicle at its highest point. If you mistime your departure, you may miss the Mun entirely, which creates a lot of paperwork. Let's assume you've left at the right time and the Mun is there to meet you. As your vessel approaches the Mun, it enters a zone in which the Mun's gravitational influence on your orbit is stronger than Kerbin's. This zone is called the Mun's sphere of influence. You've had to go very quickly to escape Kerbin's gravity, much too fast for the Mun's low gravity to capture you. If you don't slow down, your vehicle will speed past the Mun and be flung farther into space. Remember what I said about paperwork? Once you're in the Mun's gravity well, the best way to slow down is to fire your engines backwards until your trajectory becomes a nice, stable orbit. Now you're a moon of the Mun! Ha!
Sehr gut.
Our rocket is in orbit over Kerbin and ready to fly. The mission today is to, drumroll please, intercept and orbit the Mun. To be captured by the Mun's gravity, our vessel must cross into the Mun's sphere of influence, or SOI, the zone in which its gravity is stronger than any other celestial body around it. We're going to create a maneuver plan to figure out when and how long we need to fire our... Great! Now here's a new trick. We can select any object as a target in map view. Targeting gives us useful information and enables new tools. Once we've targeted a celestial body or other object in space, our maneuver will provide closest pass and plane angle information. This can be very helpful for meeting up with someone or something in space. Right now, our camera is following our vessel as it orbits Kerbin. Let's adjust our camera until we can see the Mun. Then, right-click to target it. We want to place this maneuver plan with two things in mind. First, the Mun is in motion. We can't aim our spacecraft where the Mun is right now. Instead, we have to aim where the Mun will be after our vehicle has coasted all the way from Kerbin.
Ungefähr hier, wahrscheinlich.
Second, remember how increasing velocity raises the opposite side of our orbit? Since we're placing this maneuver plan where we intend to start our burn, we should place it on the opposite side of Kerbin from where we intend to intercept the Mun. Placing a maneuver plan usually involves making a best guess, and then fiddling with the maneuver until you get an intercept. Fortunately, you've got a crack navigator with you today. By my calculations, we'll want to put our maneuver here.
Na gut, dann machen wir das mal. Indem du den Punkt mit der Periapsis anklickst. Gut.
Excellent! We've just created a maneuver plan. While we could find out if our departure timing is correct by just picking a direction and maxing the throttle, a maneuver plan tells us in advance how much delta V we'll need, how long we'll need to burn, and in what direction our vessel will need to point during the maneuver. Grab and pull the arrows to plan a burn along that direction. This maneuver is pretty simple. We want to burn prograde and expand our orbit. Nice!
Das war
That
schon zu
maneuver
viel,
event
oder?
towards the end of your trajectory is exactly what we're looking for. It tells that if we execute this plan, we'll intercept the mun.
So, durch Einschlagen. Versuchen wir ein wenig Gas zu geben. Sonst müssten wir dann zu viel bremsen, ne? So.
If a maneuver looks right, but we're not getting the intercept we expect, we can change the starting position of the maneuver by grabbing and dragging the middle of the maneuver plan along our orbit. It's very common to refine a maneuver plan by adjusting both the position of the maneuver and the direction of the planned burn.
Das sieht doch gut aus. So.
If we don't want to maneuver at all, we can delete the plan, either by right-clicking the gizmo and selecting delete, or through the burn timer.
Manöver löschen. Gut, wollen wir aber nicht.
Maneuvers are invaluable when leaving Kerbin. Feel free to come back and practice anytime.
Sieht doch gut aus. Eintritt in SOI. Aha. Dann wollen wir wieder rauskommen. Aktuell sieht man dann hier noch nicht die Linie. Aber Early Access.
We've got a maneuver plan that intercepts the mun. Now we just need to execute that maneuver and fly to the mun ourselves. Whenever we have a maneuver plan, a burn timer will appear. The timer shows you how much time is left until we need to execute the maneuver. I've paused the simulation for a moment, so this number won't count down quite yet. The timer also tells us how long we'll need to burn our engines at 100% throttle in order to complete the maneuver. Now let's take a look at the nav ball. A new marker has joined our old prograde and retrograde markers. This is called a maneuver marker, and it shows us the orientation of our planned maneuver. We'll want to make sure that this marker is in the center of our nav ball during our maneuver burn. Luckily, we can aim at this maneuver marker by selecting the maneuver. Now your vehicle is properly oriented. And through the magic of SAS and more math than I'd like to admit, our vessel is properly oriented. We're still far from our planned burn, so let's speed things up. While we could rely on our reflexes to time warp at the perfect moment, a less stressful alternative is warping to a specific point in our orbit. See this button? Select it to warp automatically to the moment before our maneuver begins. Departure burn, here we come. Great! We've exited just before our maneuver burn, and I've paused the simulation once more. After we select Continue, remember to wait until the countdown reaches 0. Then we'll go full throttle until our burn timer reaches 0. Then cut the throttle quickly to avoid overshooting our target. Okay, get ready to hit the throttle.
Naja, wir haben ja noch ein bisschen Zeit, ne? Fast eine halbe Minute. Können wir sogar noch ein bisschen beschleunigen. Aber vielleicht, wenn ich hier ein bisschen erzähle, dann gehen die 17 Sekunden auch noch rum. Ja. Jetzt machen wir uns auf den Weg zum Moon. Noch Tutorial begleitet sozusagen. Und es geht los in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 und jetzt!
Watch the burn timer. We want to stop our burn once it reaches 0.
So lang, man sieht hier die rote Linie, ne? So lang muss es brennen. Hier sieht man sogar, das ist cool. Das ist wirklich nicht schlecht gemacht. Dann müssen wir quasi, hier sieht man, wie sich schön das Manöver ausweitet. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Everything. Great work! You've successfully executed a maneuver, and now we're on our way to the Mun.
Ja. Spitzenmäßig.
It's going to take a while to reach the Mun, but don't let the wait fool you. We're now moving faster than any Kerbal has ever flown before. When we enter the Mun's sphere of influence, we'll be going way too fast for the Mun's gravity to capture our vehicle.
Fallschirm haben sie nicht für die Rückkehr hinzugefügt.
To orbit the Mun, we'll need to burn retrograde once we're inside its SOI, or sphere of influence. This will slow us down enough to keep us from being whipped into interplanetary space. Let's start by time warping until we're within the Mun's sphere of influence. That's the sphere within which the Mun is the primary gravitational influence on your vehicle. Let's get a little bolder with our time warp this time. Farewell, Kerbin. We'll miss you.
Wird wahrscheinlich wieder automatisch pausieren, ne? Ah, hier kommt die Kugel näher.
Welcome to the Mun's sphere of influence. Let's slow down to normal time so we can create our capture maneuver. Did you notice that we've got a periapsis above the Mun, but no apoapsis? That's because we're going too fast to complete an orbit before sailing past the Mun. Don't worry, we have time to adjust. Our objective is to slow down enough so that both apoapsis and periapsis are within the Mun's sphere of influence. Remember the rule of orbital opposites. Because we want to lower your apoapsis, we'll need to place our maneuver plan at the periapsis. Let's get started. In order to reduce our apoapsis, we need to slow down by burning backwards, or retrograde. This is a little like deorbiting over Kerbin, but we're going to stop burning before our trajectory meets Mun dust.
Ein bisschen blöd, dass das Fenster hier ein bisschen drüber liegt, ne? Ja, wir kriegen es hin. Achso. Das sind nur, dass wir dann nochmal den Mond treffen würden, wenn wir hier verlassen. Deswegen waren dann gerade nochmal Umlaufbahnen zu sehen. Aber jetzt bremsen wir es so weit ab, dass wir schön einen Orbit kriegen.
Maneuver plan set. Next up, let's make sure we're pointed where we need to be.
So vielleicht.
If the maneuver is right and we're pointed in the right direction, now we need to time warp to the right position.
Sieht man das eigentlich aus außerhalb der Karte? Ja.
And we're on our way. Almost there. When the countdown reaches 0, throttle up to start your capture burn.
Zeichen, okay. Noch sehr hoch über dem Mond. 20 Sekunden. Unsere erste Munorbit-Eintretung. Beim nächsten Mal möchten wir dann schon einen Lander mitnehmen, ne? Mal sehen, ob wir das schaffen. So, aber jetzt wollen wir erstmal Vollschub geben.
Keep burning until the burn timer reaches 0. Shut the engines now. We have an orbit.
Oder Steuerung gedrückt hältst. Achso.
Fantastic. That was some fancy flying. Looks to me like you're about ready to try this for real.
So, genau das sagt sie. Dass wir es jetzt in Ernst ausprobieren sollen. Und damit hat man die Tutorials, die es bisher gibt, abgeschlossen. Und beim nächsten Mal versuchen wir uns dann eine Mondrakete zu bauen, die einen kleinen Lander mit sich führt, der dann hoffentlich auch wieder zurückkommt. Sehen, ob mir das gelingt in diesem Spiel. Bei KSP1 war es ja kein Problem. Bei dem muss ich mich erstmal wieder ein bisschen einfuchsen. Ihr dürft gespannt sein. Bis dahin sage ich Tschüss, macht's gut. Euer Aston hier. Tschüssi.